iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome in here tonight, race fans, to the Michigan International Speedway here tonight in the Irish Hills of Michigan. It is the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series presented by Red Light Racing. Back behind the mic here tonight, race fans. I am glad to be back here after my trip back to Tennessee. We got to thank Al Smith along with Brett the Jet out there for filling in for me last week. Nice enough to give me a week off while I had some things to tie up back down in Bristol. From what I heard, it was a nice race out there, a nice race, a good race, if you will, where James Skelt was able to pick up his, well, what looks like to be his third win of the season, second in a row, though, because remember, he won that Celeradus legal 90 there at Darlington Raceway, and then again the 90-lap feature event last week at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So with that being said, where does that lead us? That leads us right here to Michigan, like we said. It's the 10th race of the season. Well, 10th race of the season, that means it's the final race of the regular season. So to take a look at those point standings, drivers that we know are locked in: James Skelt and Max Theriault, along with Zach Mitchell, Jeffrey Souza, Chris Hammett, and Tony Strano. Drivers that are on the inside right now on the point standings by points themselves: Jason Wells, William Ridgway, that rookie, puts on a good campaign here in this first season with the series, along with Ethan Troutman, Richard Murdoch. They look to be pretty good. Then you have Sean Butler, Ryan O'Donnell, and DJ Anderson right there in the top 12, just by a couple points over Trent Potter, along with Cole Day and Joe Strano. Peyton Johnson also has a chance, and then there's Brandon Feeney just hanging on right there. He is just, looks like 16 points, or sorry, yeah, that is correct. 16 points out coming into the night. So there's an opportunity here for some of these drivers to work themselves in if they have a good night, and some drivers that may fall out with having a terrible luck night here tonight at Michigan. Let's head down trackside, though. Tonight, the Celeradus starting lineup coming to you looking like this. Snagging his first pole of the season, it will be the driver of car number 4 of Jeffrey Souza. To the outside of him, car number 42, hailing from north of the border, it'll be Max Theriault, along with, here's the 88, that is Sean Butler. Chris Hammett in car number 6 will start from the 4th spot, while DJ Anderson in the number 51 will roll from 5th. 6th position here tonight, the 86, the driver out of South Carolina. It's the three-time winner, 2 in a row here. It'll be the 86 of James Skelton. Michael Javarth in car number 2 will start from the 7th starting spot here tonight, while Ethan Troutman in the car number 62 will start from 8th. 9th will be the Celeradus Legal, number 15 of Peyton Johnson. He'll start from the 9th spot here tonight, while the Full Throttle Racing Adventure in Pixels claws up 0-1, Richard Murdoch. And back into the 11th spot here tonight, number 64 of Jason Wells, the alien himself, starts 11th. Ben Klutz and car number 45 will start back there in the 12th starting position. Starting back to the 13th spot, it's the Millen Man. It's going to be car number 55. Josiah Millen will start 13th. How about that 4X Racing? Turbo Door Radical Paints number 98 of Ryan Donnie. He'll start there into position number 14. 15th spot here tonight, it's the Professional PGA Golfer. Car number 17, that was Tim Combs. Back into the 16th starting spot, that'll be Thomas Ridgway in car 03, while Zach Mitchell, the driver out of Minnesota, will start back there to the 17th spot. How about Tony Strano, the season opener winner? Tony Strano will start from 18th here tonight, while Brandon Feeney will start there into the 19th starting spot. Joe Strano will start 20th here tonight. 21st on the call will be William Kirk in car number 9. Joshua Buckley then will start right there into the 22nd starting spot. 23rd, driver out of Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, driving car number 31. That'll be Donald Bennett. And starting back to the 24th spot, Trent Potter. Look for that number 28 to work his way towards the front of the field here early. Bruce Potter in car number 59 will start 25th. 26th will go to Rob Higgins, the Cowboy himself, back in 26th, driving car number 40. Driving the 20-year anniversary checkered flag, Auto Supply number 30. That'll be the man, the myth, the legend. He served a birthday 1 week ago, or 2 weeks ago at this point, I believe it is. 1 week, 2 weeks. Well, he's old, we're old. It'll be Bob Higgins. He'll start back into the 27th starting spot. That's your Celerata starting lineup here tonight from the Michigan International Speedway. Ready to go. It'll be 65 laps here tonight for these drivers. When we come out of 4, this time by, we're ready to roll. Stacked up 2 by 2. Jason Wells will not make the call to the grid here tonight. He'll have to start shotgun to the field from pit road. Green flag in Barney's hand. Here we go. Ready to go. Green flag up here at Michigan. Great start by the field. Everybody able to come up through the gearbox. It will be the 42 of Max Terrialto storming to the outside, the lead. So Max takes himself to the lead. A lot of drivers having a little wiggle wobble that time out of turn number 2 on the opening lap here today. These tires just not quite up to snuff. These speeds here tonight will be well over 200 miles an hour. We were 180 on the wind-em-up lap here. We'll watch here as Max Terriot, a couple drivers getting close together. That time off turn number 4. That was Peyton Johnson in the City Chevrolet, the Celerata's legal entry. Over 200 miles an hour right here. These drivers going over 200 miles an hour down into turn number 1. One car down to the bottom side. There's that white PBR entry. The driver out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania is Josiah Millen. Got the PBR, number 55. It's where he started into the 13th spot. It was a little shaky down on that bottom side of turn number 2. Here out of 4, he'll try to slide up. Air getting packed on that number 8. Here comes Zach Mitchell. He'll try to cross over the 55 of Millen, but will not be able to. As these drivers all work, Max Terriot last time by just set a blistering lap time here. That was a 38.27 second lap for the Storm from the north. You want to talk about blowing in from the north here to Michigan. This is a track that Max Terriot absolutely looks forward to coming because it's one of those tracks where you really got to finesse, but you got to be able to roll the center of the corners here at Michigan. Keep that momentum, keep the speed up. It's exactly what Max Terriot is used to doing, and he's showing you here tonight. He let it all hang out on the right-hand side of that Gen 4 Cup car. He used to call this era the Twisted Sisters because if you looked at these drivers as they all battle back there, you see Ryan O'Donnell was just out of line. You see these cars, they all are a little bit twisted. They're not straight. They're not symmetrical at all. These cars have a little bit of a curve to them, leaning towards that passenger side there. So you can lean on it, sort of like if you didn't know what sprint cars are. They got those big wings on the top of them. It's kind of use these cars, that side, that your passenger side, as a big old wing to catch the car, keep it planted down into the corners. See, the battles back here have started to cool themselves off. Ryan O'Donnell right on board with them. Driver out of Michigan showing some very fast pace here early on as Ryan O'Donnell has picked up 6 spots here in the opening laps here tonight at the Michigan International Raceway. Something has happened to our race leader. It looks like a connection issue for the 42 of Max Terriol. He is being scored off the raceway right now for the number 42 of Max Terriol. Nothing actually happened to his race machine, but it does look like he is being scored off the raceway right now. It is a connection issue, I'm being told. So it will be now the race leader, car number 4, Jeffrey Souza. So Souza, who qualified on the pole here tonight, now snags the top spot here at Michigan. 5 laps completed. We're come by this time. We're complete lap number 6 here tonight. It'll be Souza, Butler, Hammett is how they are running. There is the one-time burger bar. Number 6. So it's Hammett running into the 3rd spot. Last week's winner is back here. That's the Flowertown Animal Hospital entry. James Skelton. Sideways. Driving a Toyota Corolla. Interesting. We got a Corolla, we got a Dodge, we have Chevrolet. We're going to take a peek through these cars here tonight because they have some interesting paint schemes on them. One of the best paints, their cars to paint, I believe. Whoa, look how close James Skelton got to the outside wall that time out of turn number 4 as we ride on board down the front straightaway. Right now, Skelton 204 miles an hour, and just look at Murdoch, old Dick Doc, down to the bottom side of the speedway. I don't know if he thought he was jumping out of a plane or what. He went top shelf to the bottom shelf, and now he's going to try and get around that number 2 of Michael Trevarthen as they boot, scoop, and boogie down the back straightaway. Nothing having, though, for Richard Murdoch. Murdoch will fall back into line, running into the 6th spot. He's picked up 4 spots early, but here comes the 51. That is DJ Anderson. Anderson, one of those drivers that picked up a win early on in the season. So right now here tonight, he's just trying to, actually, sorry, I've mistaken that number 51 for the 6 machine on our stat sheet here tonight. DJ Anderson has not picked up a win just yet this season. He's been in contention for multiple wins. He sits actually right on the bubble coming into the night. His best run being back at the Iowa Speedway on October the 9th, our 2nd race of the season, which was with this car that we have here tonight. So we're seeing if that Interstate Batteries car could get back up. He started into the 5th spot. He's fallen back into 7th. DJ Anderson, one of those drivers, though, that does like to play the strategy, so he might just be kind of hanging back, feathering the throttle to see how far he can stretch fuel here on this first run tonight. You see the Pabst Blue Ribbon PBR entry. That is Josiah Millen working on the back bumper there, just behind Millen. Then it's Peyton Johnson, Ryan Donning. As, ooh, sideways for that old, is that the Dodge Viper machine? That is number 45, the other driver out of Michigan. Another one of those drivers making it a homecoming here tonight at Michigan. There's Big Ben, car number 45, the Viper SRT 10 entry here tonight. We told you some of these cars are some of the best-looking cars you're going to find onto the iRacing.com sim, because just take a look. Even back here, the professional golfer, Tim Combs, has the True Bud Music entry. Then you got the old Aflac machine. Old cousin Carl would be proud here tonight if he saw the Aflac number 9 roaming around. It was the 99 for cousin Carl, but here tonight we just drop a 9, give it just 1 9. Uh-oh, Ryan O'Donnell. Hey, Ryan, I know we said you could use the whole track here tonight, but we didn't mean you literally had to go to the campground to show off that Turbo Door Critical Paints number 98. So O'Donnell will lose a couple spots inside that top 10, though. Millen's going to get around the number 15 of Peyton Johnson. Here comes the 42, the Storm from the north, storming back out onto the raceway. There you see the all-black number 42 of Max Terriol. He will be scored back into the 27th position currently here on the timing and scoring. It'll be 7 laps down here. 12 laps will be in the books next time by. So Max has a little bit of catching up to do. We'll see if he can. Millen going to lose the spot to the 15 of Johnson once again. They've been kind of passing that one back and forth. It's sort of like that hot potato that we talk about all the time. So they passed it back and forth. Now Johnson has the 7th spot. Hammett falling back to that 8th spot. So currently here, that middle to inside lane working out for the 15 of Johnson. Sideways, trying to lean on it, try to put that air cushion on the 51 of DJ Anderson. Anderson able to keep that car pointed in the right direction and hammer down the car to the 51 of DJ Anderson. Anderson will pull on to the back end there of the 0-1 of Richard Murdoch. Murdoch's following Skelton in his Corolla around here. Skelton running back into the 4th spot. Murdoch is running 5th currently, so 5 spots gained here for the driver of car 01. There you see Richard Murdoch, driver out of South Carolina. Anderson with a little bit of a wiggle there. You saw the Interstate Batteries 51 when he came off the corner. It kind of bobbled and he had to weave to catch it. Millen starting to fade off this group. He was up as high as running 7th at one point. Now back to running it into the 9th position. So as these drivers battle right around the 5th, 6th, 7th position, there's still more battling a little bit farther back. There is the 0-3. That is Thomas Ridgway. William Kirk back here also battling. Kirk will slide up in front of that 0-3, take the 14th running position. Just behind them, there are the Strano brothers. There's Joe Strano in the Road Rage Accessories number 23. And then there's Tony Strano, the Victory Junction Gang number 3. Remember, Strano, that is the 3 of Tony Strano. Went to Victory Lane for his first time ever with the series. That was back at the Daytona International Speedway. Now some drivers coming to pit road right here. They'll make their way to pit road. Michael Trevarthen brought his crew to pit road first, and then look at everybody following, coming to pit road. It's over half the field here on lap number 16. There you see the 8th. That is Zach Mitchell. Mitchell, you can tell, has been into the outside wall. Oh, a big mistake by William Kirk. Kirk made a mistake sliding into his pit stall. So did the number 13 of Joshua Buckley. He can't find it. Trying to put it in gear. Back that number 13 up. He's going to lose a lot of time here as more drivers come to pit road. Now it'll be Jeffrey Souza coming to pit road. Richard Murdoch will bring the 0-1 down. He's going to make great time coming to pit road because he passes the 86 of James Skelton. So we'll see if that pays off there for the old number 0-1 of Richard Murdoch. You ever feel like you're on the interstate and you see cops sitting out there? Well, right now, that number 6 of Chris Hammett has been popped by the pit road police. Too fast entering pit road for the number 6 of Chris Hammett. He'll serve his penalty right here while he's on pit road. There's the race leader. It's the 88 of Sean Butler, but he'll come to pit road this time. So will TJ Anderson, who's running 2nd. Big lock up there by the 88 of Butler. Don't worry, he's going to change all 4 tires on that all black and green number 88. So it won't matter for that set of tires. He'll throw them away. You see Anderson coming down. Brandon Feeney in the Feeney call, number 38. There you see him. He's coming to pit road. Jason Wells will be the final driver to come to pit road, and I believe that is Bruce Potter also coming there. You see the number 59, the driver out of Alabama. He will come down here. He's got Bama on the back of that car. So he'll bring the 59 down. It'll be 4 tires and fuel for a lot of these drivers. I don't see any of the drivers putting just 2 tires on here because, well, this track is just way too fast here tonight to try and take it. And that was a drive-through penalty there, actually, for the number 59 of Bruce Potter. So as they came out of pit road, this is how they're going to look to blend here as a couple drivers coming off of pit road right there. See where they blend in. Those are the 2 race leaders that you see on the screen, though. The Souza Media number 4 of Jeffrey Souza. Qualified, remember, on the pole here. Fell back to 2nd. And they got the race lead back right around lap number 4 here tonight. He is now sitting P number 1 again after the green flag pit cycle. But he does have the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen right there bearing down on him. That Dodge driven by Michael Trevarthen. Martha picking up a win the other week on the Thursday night, the short track Scrambler series. Looking to see if he can get to victory lane here on Monday. Martha is not a full-time runner, or it does not look like here this season. He's only ran 4 races. This will be his 5th race of the season, so only half of the regular season has been run by the driver of that number 2. There's Peyton Johnson. He's running into the 3rd spot, or, well, correction, he was, because old Murdoch, here he comes. The little engine that good of Richard Murdoch has now got the claws up. Adventure in Pixel 01 being scored in 3rd. He's got some fresh tires. Johnson does cross back underneath, but it should be Murdoch. Murdoch has about a 1-lap pressure tire set on the 01 there. That inside lane has worked for Johnson, though, early and often. We'll see if Murdoch can just keep it wound up to the outside. A little bit of a bobble, maybe a little side draft here down the straightaway. What is a side draft? Well, that's when you take your front end and you put it as close as you can to that driver's back end without touching them on the side there. That creates what's called the drag onto the back spoiler, and it drags back the car. That is just a little bit of a head you. All these cars right here, I'm looking at it. The whole top, call it the top 9, all within 2 seconds. Ryan O'Donnell just hanging off the back there of that 2-second marker. He is running 10th. He is actually in this lead pack. So all top 10 drivers within 2.5 seconds of each other here tonight at Michigan after the first round of green flag pit cycles here tonight at the Michigan International Raceway. That's pretty impressive here. That shows how tight-knit this group is. Oh, sideways for the number 55 of Millen. He thought he was driving that big block modified that he races here on the iRacing.com platform, or maybe he was trying to pop open one of those Pabst Blue Ribbon entries. Anderson down to the bottom. He'll take a spot there from the 45. Ben going to drop back in that Dodge Viper SRT 10. So as he falls back, battle at the front, though, for the race lead. Marthin is all over the back of that Sousa Media entry, but so is Murdoch. He is setting some of the fastest times in car number 01. See if we can ride on board. That's what it looks like when you're doing 205 miles an hour. Murdoch will go a little bit higher, try to get some fresh air onto those. That 01. Look at him carry the momentum through the center of the corner. Great throttle response for the 01 of Murdoch. He'll now swing to the inside here. Not going to quite have the run down the back straightaway. Oh, one driver into the outside wall. Believe that was right around the 20th position or so. We didn't quite get a car on that. It might have been the number... Nope. It was definitely not the 40. Higgins, remember, changed up his paint scheme the other week. We'll have to see if we can find whose car that was that went up into the wall. It may have been, yep, it looked like it was an orange machine. It may just have been Chris Hammett. Remember, Chris Hammett had to serve a penalty on pit road too fast, entering pit road under the green flag pit cycle. And Chris Hammett is currently sitting, where's that, 24th on the Carlin card here tonight. 24th, 1 lap down, I do believe is what it is saying here. Oh, yeah, that is exactly what it is. Zach Mitchell to pit road. Remember, he's been into the wall a time or two already here tonight at Michigan. Not quite to the halfway point, but it'll be the second time the number 8 has come to pit road. Donald Bennett in the Castrol Edge. I believe that's a Dodge. That is a dodge there for the 31 of Bennett here tonight. The driver out of Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, being scored 26th. Looks like Max Terrell came back out for one lap in car number 42, and then he pulled it back behind the wall. Murdoch into that second spot, but look at the 88 of Butler. They both were able to get it around the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. So Murdoch running the Highland around here. He will lose the spot to Sean Butler, and when I'm looking at it, Butler actually has the fresher tires by one lap over Murdoch. You're probably thinking to yourself, one lap isn't that big of a difference, and well, I'm showing you here tonight with these pictures that we're bringing you from the Michigan International Raceway that when you're running 200 plus miles an hour down the straightaway, it means a difference when it gets into the corner. One driver running that high line back there. That was the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry. Ryan O'Donnell. You could not have got any closer to the outside retaining wall in turns 1 and 2 without hitting it. I'm telling you, he just scraping that Turbo Dork paint off that number 98. So right now, Ryan O'Donnell back to running into the 10th position. So a top 10 run here tonight for Ryan O'Donnell. Still a lot of racing left to go. We're not quite halfway. We're closing in on halfway, but we're not there just yet. Souza is still the race leader, has a great long run car here. We obviously know he has a quick one-lap car, as he did set the quick time here tonight. Riding on board with the checkered flag auto supply onboard camera here tonight with Jeffrey Souza. All onboard camera footage is brought to us by our friends at the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. The Checkered Flag Auto Supply located in Ayer, Massachusetts. Serving their 20-year anniversary this season. So we congratulate Bob Higgins and the whole Higgins family for their support here, as that's, well, they're a small business up there in Ayer. And to have 20 years in operation and serving the local community in Ayer, that's a feat in its own. You don't see a lot of businesses stay open for 20 years in operation in the same family hands. And we love that they are a part here of Red Light Racing. Skelton with a huge run in 3 and 4. One driver into the wall there. I believe that was Michael Trevarthen. Yeah, I'm not mistaken. It was Michael Trevarthen into the outside wall off 4. And there's James Skelton, though. He's trying to get around Peyton Johnson. He got a great run in 3 and 4. And then Skelton got right to the back end of that number 15 of Johnson. Got that 15 sideways a little bit off the corner. Made his momentum kind of slow. Was able to make the pass. Cars here tonight very aerodynamic sensitive. As you see the 2 of Michael Trevarthen coming to pit road. He was just up into the wall, remember. So he's probably thinking to himself, I lost time, I might as well come down. And he's going to drag a bunch of drivers. Look at it. Pit road looks like the interstate at rush hour. So those drivers coming down, they'll get their second round of green flag pit cycles in here. Looks like one driver is back out onto the raceway, I do believe. There it is. There's the 42. Max Terrell is back out onto the racetrack here. 20 laps down, unfortunately, for the 42 of Max Terrell. Race leaders on pit road. We'll see if anybody gets popped by the pit road police here tonight. Another great angle there. If you look at these cars as they're coming at our camera shot, that is head on. You can see how those cars are not completely straight. They do have a little bit of a twisted body on them here tonight at Michigan. There's the race leader, but I suspect he's coming to pit road right here. And boy, when you think you hit the nail on the head, they make a right-hand turn and they stay out there. Sean Butler will stay out here. He'll complete another lap as the race leader. Maybe this time trying to push the fuel and the tires as far as it will go. So he'll only have to pit one more time. Let me see if I can do that quick math here. 65. See how far he'll need to stretch it. I think we are going to still have to make one more pit stop even here after Sean Butler brings it to pit road. It's just the math's just not quite adding up. And here comes the Butler. He'll come to pit road this time. So Butler locks him up. He'll put 4 freshies on. Here comes DJ Anderson. A lock up for him in the 51. Both drivers will get their service and then come back out onto the raceway. See Wells coming back out of his pit stall there. Oh, a mistake by the 88 of Butler. He had to back it up a little bit past his pit stall. Hey, how about this driver? There's the Feeney call, number 38. Brandon Feeney is out front here tonight. He'll get credited with leading a lap here just after the halfway portion of this race. And Feeney is absolutely off it. Hear it. He was coasting, trying to come to pit road. You see smoke on the front straightaway here. Caution is out. Feeney has to come to pit road, though. He is out of fuel. So as Brandon Feeney is out of fuel, William Kirk having some problems in car number 9. So the caution lights will come on here just after the green flag pit cycle was starting to cycle itself through. William Kirk having some issues. There you see car number 9, the Aflac entry. William has some fans out there tonight tuning in to watch him. They may be a little disappointed to know that now he is going to be down the running order a little bit. Take a look. Oh, Trent Potter just got into the back of the 9. The 9 was a little squirrely off the corner, got into the back of him, spun that 9 car around off turn number 4. I'm not quite sure if there's much damage done to William Kirk's machine. Didn't hit the wall, didn't hit anything. There you see a closer look. It looked like the 28 of Potter there just had more momentum coming up off the corner and didn't realize the closing rate. Into the back of that number 9, and Kirk gonna go around. Taking a closer look here as we come back live. Pictures here from the Michigan International Raceway. Looking at that 9 car, and I'm gonna go with my statement. There's no damage to that William Kirk entry. Kirk will come to pit road. He will put 4 tires on, so we'll have to use a set of tires here, unfortunately. But no harm, no foul, really. They do have 1 extra set of tires, and that's going to be exactly what he uses here. So if there's a late race caution, though, Kirk will not have an extra set of tires to put on his machine. So this caution really going to bunch the group back up. They still will need to pit one more time here tonight at Michigan. Again, we got to thank our friends over at the Turn 3 Racing Network that filled in last week. Al Smith and Brett the Jet, of course, filling in for myself. I was away. They did an excellent job for filling in. They really asked me, they kept asking me for feedback, and I kept telling them I was a little unable to watch most of the broadcast last week, but I did hear from a couple of the drivers that they did absolutely wonderful for filling in. We thank them once again. This is, though, the final race of the regular season. Where have we been? Well, we started things off at Daytona, where Tony Strano was able to pick up the win. Then we went to Iowa. Max Terriol was able to pick up the win in the Gen 4 Cup car that you see here tonight. With North Wilkesboro with the 1987 machines, Chris Hammett was able to go to victory lane. We were at Watkins Glen, the only road course of the season. Zach Mitchell was able to dominate on that one. Then we went down to Texas, two-stepping. Max Terriot was able to pick up the win. the Greg's Pizza race at the Bristol Motor Speedway. James Skelton was able to win. Indianapolis, we went to the Oval. Jeffrey Souza. Then we were at Darlington. James Skelton. Charlotte, James Skelton again for the third time this season going to victory lane. So those drivers all picking up wins here tonight. Remember, this is a cut-off race. We'll cut it down to 12 plus any driver that picked up a win that is outside the top 19. So that includes Tony Strano, who's outside the top 12. DJ Anderson came into the night on the bump, one spot ahead of Trent Potter. Just 1 point separated those two drivers on the cut line. Cole Day was sitting just 3 points out off the cut line, but he's not here tonight. A big start there for the 88 of Butler. Souza did not get that number 4 going, and it spun the tires on the restart. So Butler is being scored as the race leader. Souza now trying to fight to hang on to that second position. See some side drafting there between the 51 and the 2 down the back straightaway. Remember, that's who Michael Javarthan, right before the green flag pit cycle started, he had got into the outside wall. Couple of drivers having to serve some penalties here as we went back. Green flag racing. Brandon Feeney, Thomas Ridgway. And it looks like the number 64, Jason Wells, also was down on pit road. Wells' night has not gone the way that he wanted. He's been down on pit road, looking about 5-6 times for that 64. They started from pit road and the night never got any better. Oh, hang on to her. That was Skelton up to the top side. That Corolla was rolling. He had the momentum push from behind him. That was the 0-1 of Richard Murdoch. Murdoch trying to help his South Carolina foe. Everybody still chasing Butler, and Butler's out to a little over a second race lead. 25 laps to go. The pit window should open in about 10 laps for these drivers. How about Peyton Johnson? He's just been inside the top 5 most of the night here tonight with the Acceleratus number 15, or the City Chevrolet, whatever you would like to say. Looks like another connection issue out there. Rob Higgins losing connection. Max Terriot has lost multiple connections here tonight. That has taken him out of contention. You see the Feeney call, number 38 of Brandon Feeney coming back out onto the raceway. These cars here tonight at Michigan putting on a heck of a show. The Gen 4 Cup car does have the most horsepower out of all the cars, and I think it has the best body, and I think it puts on some of the best racing that we see here on the iRacing.com platform. As you see, Skelton work the bottom side here. He'll take the Flowertown Animal Hospital Corolla, bottom shelf digging. And then Johnson going to try and keep that wound up, using all the horsepowers underneath the hood of that number 15. Was able to power back around the 0-1 of Murdoch, and now he'll see if he can go back to work. We saw Peyton Johnson use the bottom lane here tonight on those long runs, and he was able to make up a lot of ground, so he's trying to utilize a little bit of that outside here early in this run for him. Pitted back on lap number 31. William Kirk trying to make his way back through the field, and he's battling here. That's the 45. Big Ben trying to hang on to that. There's the 62 That's Troutman. That's a brand new paint scheme for him. Believe that's a Tony Stewart inspired paint scheme there for the 62. A lot of times Ethan Troutman running Tony Stewart paint jobs, and not mistaken, that may be an old DEI paint scheme that Stewart was able to run. If it wasn't a DEI paint scheme, and I believe it was because it has the Oreo Ritz paint scheme on there, it would have had to have been a Kevin Harvick Incorporated paint scheme because Tony Stewart did run for both DEI, well, Dale Jr., I should say. Might have been Chance 2 Motorsports at that time is what they were called. Oh, Millen! Crossed up, hanging it out, fighting, swatting the bees. Made it 3 wide there. Caught it. So a big moment there for Millen. That could have got ugly very fast because there's a lot of drivers tucked up in this draft right now. See them all bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway. Millen all over the back end of William Kirk, trying to give him a big push down the back straightaway. Some movement up here in the top half of the race field. Also, Skelton trying to get back underneath that number 2. There's battles all over the racetrack right now. Trying to bring you all of them with just under 20 to go. It's just 19 actually to go now at this point. Bruce Potter says, hey, maybe I can get an early jump to pit road, maybe a caution to come out here, and he can leapfrog some of these drivers here late in this one. Look at the lead, though, that Sean Butler has. There he goes. There's second, third. So a huge, huge lead right now for the race leader of Sean Butler. I say huge, but it's only reading it's about a second and a half, but that is big time here. It's a big time lead for the driver that does have, I believe he carries the second all-time wins. He trails Max Terriot by 4. He could take another one out of the belt there of the storm from the north here tonight. Remember, Max Terriot having some issues early in this one, bumping him well down the running order. It looks like 24th place right now, 19 laps behind for the 42 of Max Terriot. One driver coming to pit road. I believe that was the 4. Oh, Souza not going to quite get there. Kirk also coming. Peyton Johnson had some problems. And I think the 4 of Souza was trying to get the pit road before the caution came out. He did not get the pit road. He swung that back out onto the raceway. There you see the 4. But what happened to Peyton Johnson? Where is he? Oh, boy. Uh-oh. That one, race fans, how do you say, is not going to buff out. It's just not. He'll slide it in there and see if they can get that car fixed. We'll have to watch it back. We didn't see exactly what happened. Off of 4, it looked like Peyton was trying to come to pit road, maybe. Oh, big hit there for Tim Combs. Big Ben going to get involved. Brandon Feeney going to thread the needle somehow, some way. And who put the scoreboard there? Yeah, you could tell there the 15 was out of the gas. And, oh, then the big hit. These cars going so fast here at Michigan. And that car just absolutely tore up as it goes to pull away. Watch it right here. Look at everybody just get involved. Saw the 6 there. Slam on the brakes, Chris Hammett. There it is again. The contact. Then the major contact. '62 of Ethan Troutman making heavy contact with the outside wall also. But look at this. Let's ride on board. Souza was going to come to pit road. William Kirk doing the same thing. Right on board with Kirk. Oh, Kirk went way down there just to avoid. Talk about a wild ride there. Missed it all, cut the grass a little bit. Looks like some varying strategies here. These drivers right on the cusp. I don't think they have enough if we have to go to a green-white checker here tonight. This is going to be very interesting, though. Your race leader is being scored, the number 4 of Jeffrey Souza. Remember, we saw him just go through the grass? Well, he came to pit road under this caution flag. He did. He made it to pit road. He only took fuel and 2 tires. Everybody else inside the top 10, fuel and 4 tires. And then some of the drivers that are outside the top 10, well, guess what? They just came back down pit road. There you see the 59 of Potter. There you see Tony Strano. Trent Potter coming back out there. They know they're right on the bubble. They know they're either going to make it or just run out. Now, they have about a lap and a half extra of fuel. So remember, though, some of those drivers coming to pit road here, just to top things off, they could be sitting in a catbird seat late here. If we got a caution flag at the end and had to go to a green-white checker, they might be the drivers that are sitting pretty with fuel. So we're stacked back up. The lights on the iRacing.com pace car are out. It'll be Souza and Butler again on the front row. It'll be 14 laps remaining when we get the green. Great start there that time. That inside lane just fires off way better than the outside. Remember, it was Butler last time that got such a great start on Souza. This time it was Souza getting the jump on Butler. And here comes DJ Anderson. Here comes James Skelton. Skelton to the outside. The 51 of Anderson looked like he got a little loose going into 1. Talking about loose, Mr. Big Wiggle back there, car number 2. Look at William Kirk. Remember, he went flying through the grass. He's now just on the outside of breaking in to the top 5, and he's going to go high, wide, and handsome. He's yelling Aflac around the top side. Keeps it out of the outside wall, and Michael Trevarthen going to slam the door on that 0-1 of Richard Murdoch, and Murdoch, I believe, lifted there to allow him to get back in line. Souza has company, though, all over the back end for the race lead. Here comes the 88. Butler will take a peek to the inside. Does he have enough to get there? He does down the back straightaway. Butler will go to the inside here, trying to take the race lead. That number 4 of Souza going to try and keep it wound up, but he's not going to be able to. Butler with the race lead out of turn 4. Here comes James Skelton. What does James Skelton have left? 207 miles an hour for James Skelton into 1. Had to lift all the way down to about 174. Just a measly 195 down the back straightaway. Nothing big, nothing major, not a whole lot going on there. We take a look here. Watch the speed here on the front straightaway. See what it gets up to this time here for James Skelton. 204 miles an hour. Well, one driver coming to pit road here. Uh-oh, race fans. Richard Murdoch has been into the wall hard. Murdoch will come to pit road. Looks like Murdoch's possibly been, well, what do you say we see if this is it? Watch that 0-1 right there. Oh, him and Ryan O'Donnell make the contact, and they both go into the wall. So Murdoch's night that went from possibly getting a case of beer here, maybe some whiskey if he was able to park it at Victory Lane tonight, is not going to end the way he wants it. So that 0-1 claws up. Adventure in Pixels entry was very fast here tonight. Looks like it's going to be about a, oh man, might want to call that an 18th place finish possibly here tonight when this one ends out. 10 to go. It'll be 9 to go here for Sean Butler. The Butler seeing if he can get it done here. He came in 10th overall in the championship standings. He won't have to worry about points if he can win here tonight. This is his 9th race of the season. He did miss one regular season race, so he is eligible. With a win, he can get in. He's also eligible on points if he needed them. And James Skelton is saying, I'd like to win my 4th one if possible here. You see the two behind them, DJ Anderson, Michael Trevarthen. Then it's William Kirk and Jeffrey Souza. Souza taking those 2 tires under that caution flag. Would have liked to see what would have happened if that strategy would have worked there for Souza and he was able to get the pit road right before the caution flag came out. I guess the world may never know. It's sort of like those, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. Sideways, Brandon Feeney. Calling on the Feeney call entry. Brandon Feeney, there he is. He was sideways out of turn 2. I'd still say one of the best looking numbers I've seen here in a long time on iRacing. Brandon Feeney carrying his famous number of 38 with the Canadian maple leaf inlaid in that 38. It's just an absolute beauty. As he's coming to pit road here, I'm not sure if this is a scheduled stop for the 38 of Brandon Feeney or not. Side by side for the 3rd position. Anderson to the outside of the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen, who's down on the bottom side trying to dig. He's got the Goo Goo Dolls on there. I can't even recall a song that the Goo Goo Dolls actually sang. I remember the band's name, but cannot recall an actual song. Murdoch back out onto the raceway, but his car is very wounded and he's off the pace. He's down to the bottom side of the race leaders. They will all go ahead and get around to the outside of him and get around. Look at Skelton, that 86! I didn't know James Skelton was a dirt racer. That looked like he was hanging it out and just letting it sit there. This time, the flag man, Barney, though, waves at him as they all come on by the flag stand. And with 5 fingers into the air, it's the hi, how are you? 5 laps to go as he waves at them all as they come by. So 5 more laps, 10 more miles of racing this 2-mile speedway. And it's come down to those 2 drivers out front here. James Skelton, we know he's fast. And he has another fast, hot rod here tonight. That Corolla. Rob Higgins is probably out there. Got his cowboy hat on, a bush light in his hand, and listening to the Goo Goo Dolls now. Let's see who's faster at the line here between the top 3 of Butler, Skelton, and Trevarthen. Last time by, it's looking like the number 2 of Trevarthen was faster by about 0.2 of a second, and 4 laps, 0.2. Well, if they get the battling, Michael Trevarthen will be there if this continues the way it is. 4 to go, 3.5 to go if you look at it down the back straightaway. Just 3.5 more laps tonight here at Michigan. Tonight, the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series taken into the Michigan International Raceway. We're going to do it for Dale here. 3 to go. We're going to keep it locked right here at the front of the field. As you see Skelton, he enters a little bit lower. Sean Butler entered way up at the fence line. Call that a pretty much wash there. Skelton was not able to close, and Butler not really able to even pull away at all. So is it going to be a Chevrolet, a Dodge, or a Corolla? Because this time we're going to wind them up, throw them up. 2 laps to go here tonight at Michigan. 4 miles of racing, and now you got to remember, does everybody have enough fuel? They were able to pit back there on lap number 49, and that put them right there at the bubble. 16 laps. A lot of these drivers were going 15 to 17 laps on fuel. I do suspect they're going to be running out as they come out of turn number 4, or at least right around the start-finish line. This time by, the white flag is going to fly. Sean Butler would like to get to the start-finish line, get the white flag thrown up. Look who's there now, though. As the white flag is being displayed, it is Butler across the line with Skelton, and there is Michael Trevarthen within striking distance. It is a 3-horse race on the final lap here tonight at Michigan. Butler runs his line. What does James Skelton have? Is he able to close the gap down the back straight away? They all look to be about equal distance to each other from first to second, second to third. Final trip into turn number 3 and 4. Looked like that 86 was going to go down to the bottom and try and dig, and it's digging, but is it going to be enough? It will not. It will be across the line to pick up his first win of the season. The 88 of Butler will win here tonight in the Irish Hills of Michigan. It'll be Butler, Skelton, Trevarthen across the line is how they come across. DJ Anderson, William Kirk having his best finish. It'll be 5th for the driver of car number 9 of William Kirk. And it's Jeffrey Souza, Joe Strano. Jason Wells with a great rebound here tonight from having to start from pit road, and then he made 6 stops along the way here tonight to finish in 8th. Tony Strano, another top 10 finish for the number 3 of Tony Strano. Both Strano brothers finished inside the top 10 here tonight. It'll be 9th, though, for Tony. Josiah Millen finishes 10th, and look at the Bob Higgins entry. That checkered flag auto supply 20-year anniversary of Bob Higgins finishes in the 11th spot. Ethan Troutman finishes 12th, 13th to Trent Potter. Then it's going to be Chris Hammett, Brandon Feeney rounding out the top 10. That's how they are. There's your winner, though. He's down on the front straightaway. The 88 of Butler. Not sure if he has any fuel left in that number 88. He is just dead stopped. Look at it. It fired off for a minute. There it is. The Butler here tonight going to do another victory donut. When you look at the stat line, it will read his 44th career win here for the 88 of Sean Butler. So as Butler does some donuts, we're a step away here tonight from the Michigan Raceway. We'll be right back with your post-race show brought to us by our friends over at the Feeney Call.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Michigan International Raceway, friends, as we have wrapped up our 65-lap race event here tonight for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series presented by Red Light Racing. So 65 laps is what it took here tonight to find the 3 drivers that it was all going to come down to, and it came down to that final lap around the raceway. This 2-mile raceway puts on one heck of a show, especially when you're going 205 miles an hour down into turn number 1. So what do you say we don't waste any more time and we get to those Feeney Call post-race show interviews here tonight, brought to us by our friends at the Feeney Call. Make sure to head on over to youtube.com, type in the Feeney Call, and listen to all the racers that Brandon Feeney has had the opportunity to go ahead and talk to. The latest episode was just posted last week, so make sure you head on over and see what kind of racing talent Brandon Feeney was able to talk to this past week. Heading into victory lane, though, here tonight on the final race of the regular season. Let's head down there and talk to the driver that will officially lock himself in here tonight, and that is going to be Sean Butler. Sean, it took you a long time this season to find victory lane, but what a better place than the final race of the regular season.
Terrible season for myself and teammate DJ. It's kind of been up and down. Qualifying poorly, all that stuff. We seem to put it all together tonight, finally.
Finally put it together. This big track here, this car. How did this car combination, this track, all come together to play into your hands?
Surprisingly, fuel mileage was our friend for me and DJ. That's what we were counting on. I felt like I had pretty good speed overall as we saw there at the end. I was able to hold off James. I think I got so used to saving, I forgot how to not drive it too hard. So just kind of kept James around, and you know, the 2 was catching us there at the end. It would have been more interesting if we had to go any further, but was able to hold on and finally get that win.
Were you worried at all coming to that white flag? Because like you alluded to, that 2 was starting to get bigger and bigger into the that mirror, and you still had James Skelton right there also battling for tonight's win.
I knew if I made one mistake, it was over, and I just trying to drive it a little easier on entry, and I think I was giving it up a little bit on entry, but I was getting it back on exit, and that's what I was trying to do, and not let them get outside of me. If they get outside of you, you're gonna no way you can hold them off. So just let them try to get the inside of you, and if they do, you're gonna get to run down the straightaway and pull back in front of them. So lots of testing here, and that's what I learned. So put it to good use, and glad we are able to finally get in the winner's circle tonight.
Well, you park it in winner's circle here. You punch your ticket because you do qualify on the races you have run. 9 out of 10 races in the regular season. So you qualify for the playoffs here. What's the mindset now as you pick up the win, you lock yourself in, and next week we're going racing for the playoffs?
Just try to keep up the momentum that we got the last couple weeks. Qualifying good, running up front, running top 3, top 5s. Pretty much all you got to do for the first round is run top 5s, and you're gonna go through to the next round. So it gets a little tougher as you get into it. It's gonna take solid finishes, probably a win depending on where you are in points, and a lot of good drivers. James, multiple winner this year. Max tonight would have been interesting to see what Max had tonight, but unfortunately had internet connection issues. So we get to go race them next week, and then see what we can do and see how far we can go.
Well, before we let you go, let's roll the red carpet out. This is your 44th career win with this series. So who do you got to thank here tonight?
My teammate DJ over there at Need for Speed. Like I said, we practice every week trying to figure out different strategies, what we can do, top 2 tires, 4 tires, stuff like that. We knew two tires was going to work tonight. I thank James. We did some practice this week too. Learned some stuff with him, and then just thank the guys here at Red Light, everyone coming out, doing some good clean racing, and you guys up here in the booth.
There you have it, 44th win of his career, and it locks him into the playoffs here tonight. The 88 of Sean Butler will celebrate this one, and then we'll see what he can do in the first round of the playoffs just starting next week. The driver that was just hot to trot, nipping on the heels, it's a Corolla race, fans. That's probably why it wasn't able to park it in victory lane, but scouting a Corolla here tonight at Michigan going 205 miles an hour, and it comes up one spot short.
Yeah, Roger, I got all goofed up with trying to save fuel. We did a little practice race yesterday. I was like 0.2 laps from making it, so I thought I was good, and I was 0.2 short once again. So then I fell back, and I tried to save on the second stint, and then I just gave up on it, and then I was like in seventh or eighth, and had to work my way back up, and those cautions were actually, mostly pretty timely for me. But like Sean said, I was trying to save fuel too early. I just kind of forgot how to run fast, and I thought he was going, he was so good, and I thought he was just going to drive away from me, and he wasn't, and then I just kept messing up just on silly things with throttle and too much wheel. So to come back and get second place, we got a good run, a lot of momentum going, so it's good to take it.
You talk about making mistakes. Is it the car? Is it the track? Is it going 205 miles an hour into the corner? Where were those mistakes coming from?
It definitely took me a good little while to get adjusted to the speed. It's just so much quicker in all parts of the corner. The entry, you're carrying so much more speed, and then throttle, it just accelerates so much quicker than any of the other cars that we raced. So I was awful in the beginning, so it definitely took me some time to adjust, and then I just did the same mistakes as, it's a really fun car because you have to not put too much wheel in it and just have a really good balance, and just made some little mistakes at the end. I think Mike was, if we would have had another lap or 2 laps, he was the guy to beat. He was coming.
Well, you're able to hold him off here tonight, James. You finish in second. It's not a win. You don't get 3 in a row to make her go into the playoffs, but you are officially locked in, obviously, on those 3 wins. So a great regular season for you. We look forward to seeing what you can do in the playoffs here starting next week. But what do you say on the Corolla? Who do you got all those logoed up on?
Yes, thank Susan Media for the paint this weekend. So had the Flowertown Animal Hospital on it, and we, my wife and I, we adopted a new dog from a shelter about 2 months ago in Virginia. We drove about 6.5 hours. So we had Gus on the quarter panel and on the rear set. So we really appreciate Susan for putting that on there. I want to thank all the sponsors. Feeney on the Feeney call. It's really cool that he does that. Checkered Flat Auto Supply. You, Roger, for everything you do. All the drivers. It was a pretty clean race. My teammate Richard, he was having a really good run, and he didn't hear the 15 call out pit and got into him, and then had an issue at the end. So he had a really, really good run going, and we'll see what happens next week. We got Atlanta. I hate these type plate tracks, and had a really good season, and I hope it doesn't go all the way in the first race next week.
Well, there you have it. He's second here tonight with the Corolla. We'll see what he can do when it comes playoff time to dance. So with Butler finishing first, Skelton finishing second. The driver who had the fastest car at the end of the race, though, Michael Trevarthen. Trevarthen, you had some big wiggles out there. You were able to save it. You tapped the wall, and you still had one of the fastest cars. Where the heck did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Well, Michigan's definitely not one of my better tracks, but my driving style is suited towards the high horsepower loose race cars. That's what pretty much we had tonight. A lot of fun in the car tonight. Nothing to take away from Sean and James there. I definitely felt we had a good first stint and a good last stint. The 2 middle stints, not so much. Had it have come down to a fuel mileage race, I was in trouble because I was short pitting about a lap before all those guys. So, like I said, I'm glad it didn't come down to a fuel strategy race, which is not my forte. I know a lot of DJ and James and Richard and Sean are really good at, I don't know, a couple extra gallons in a double firewall or something. These guys are really good at fuel mileage. Like I said, I'm more of a flat foot driver, wide open. So something we'll have to work on in the future, but great race overall.
So you talk about flat foot, that's how you got to drive, especially here at Michigan with these Gen 4 cars. It's not the last time we see this Gen 4 car. Miami Homestead, which is down in your home state of Florida there, that track, that car combination is one of those just like this. It's an older track surface. You really got to keep your foot down on it, but you got to be finesse. So if you make it to Homestead with this car, are you looking forward to that one?
Yeah, I look forward to any of the high horsepower cars that run really loose. Like I said, it suits my driving style. This was kind of a night to either win to get in, or because I missed about 4 or 5 races this season, so knocked myself out of the top 12. So I was giving it everything I had to try to get in, and didn't work out this year. But boys better look out next year.
So what are you saying? We're trophy hunting the rest of the year?
We'll give it our go. Like I said, I don't want to get in the way of the chase drivers. Like I said, I'll race them hard, I'll race them clean. But like I said, if we put ourselves in a position to where we could possibly get a couple wins here towards the end of the season, we'll definitely take it.
Well, I can't wait to see that number 2 flat-footed around the outside of somebody here in the next couple of weeks. But what do you say we wrap it up here? Who's back home in the, that state of Florida, I guess you call it?
First and foremost, Rev Esports, Josh Buckley, Dalton Williamson. Like I said, we got a great team here. Turn 3 Racing Network, everything that you Roger does for the broadcast here, like I said, makes it really enjoyable for us guys to watch and for the fans out there. Remind me of a good old dirt track announcer. So like I said, we enjoy watching it. Big shout out to the family. Big shout out to the top 12 that made it into the championship. I know, like I said, it's not easy to get in that top 12 with this group. So I think we got a great group of guys we race with here, and I look forward to more seasons with these.
There you have it. That is Michael Trevarthen. He had the fastest car at the end of tonight's race, but he will come up 1 position short here from 2 positions short from picking up the win, 1 position short of picking up that second place finish here tonight. A great run for him nonetheless. Sean Butler picks up the win. He locks himself in. James Skelton finishes second. He already picked up some wins this season, got himself into the playoffs. Michael Trevarthen finishes 3rd on the podium. Your post-race show tonight brought to us by the Feeney Call. Remember, race fans, head on over to youtube.com, type in the Feeney Call, and listen to Brandon Feeney's podcast. See which driver he had from the real world, whether it's Canada, here in the States, and maybe, I think I heard the rumbling, some Australian guy may make a appearance sooner or later. But that's going to about do it here from the Michigan International Raceway. The regular season is concluded here tonight. To keep up to snuff with all the racing action here with Red Light Racing, head on over to redlightracing.net tomorrow to make sure to see if your favorite driver is the driver that made it into the playoffs, or if he unfortunately was sitting on the outside looking in here tonight after the 65 laps here at the Michigan International Raceway. We're kicking things off just 1 week from now in the playoffs. We head to the Atlanta Motor Speedway 100 laps on December the 11th with the NASCAR Next Generation car. So it's been good to be back here at, behind the mic here at Michigan. And until we get to do it next week, race fans, everybody, stay safe. And we'll see you in turn 3.